Hi, Cancer. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for January of 2021. This month's themes would suggest that you might want to get a lifelong love reading to look at all that relationship stuff that's going on, especially in the realm of intimacy. And if you want that, you can find it in the YouTube description below. 2021 is going to have an entirely different character from 2020. One reason for this is that Jupiter and Saturn have moved out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, which is much more light, bright, and electric, if you will. We talked about that in your December horoscope, so you might want to check in with that just to kind of get a feel for what this year is going to be about. And you can also find out about it more in our 2021 news videos playlist that we've already started building on our Pandora Astrology YouTube channel. So Julia, I think you've got some stuff to say to the Cancers of the world about Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
Yes, I do, Jamie. Well, hey there, Cancer. So for the first week of January, Mars begins in your 10th house, where it's been for a number of months because it's done a whole retrograde cycle in this house. And that means that you've been dealing with a lot of problems with the authority figures in your life, as well as, maybe conflicts in career as well. But on January 6th, Mars is going to be moving into your 11th house of friends. So some of those flare-ups are going to come out more in your social circles. This can be kind of a competitive time with friends as well. Now, Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, for the very first week of the month starts off in your 7th house of partnership, where you're going to be doing your best thinking by having a partner there to bounce your ideas off of. But then on January 8th, Mercury is going to move into your 8th house of other people's money. So at that point, you're going to be spending a lot of time thinking about and strategizing about money in your life, whether that's money that you share with a partner, a family member, like through a joint credit card or inheritance, as well as money that you share with institutions such as banks, like loans, taxes, investments, things of that nature too. Mercury will be going retrograde at the very tail end of the month on January 30th, but since it's going to do most of its retrograde cycle in February, we'll get to that in our next crop of videos, so stay tuned to that. Then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, begins the month in your 6th house of work. So wonderful week. The first week of January is a wonderful time for getting along well with the people you work with, whether those are clients, customers, co-workers, things of that nature. Then Venus is going to be moving into your 7th house of partnership on January 8th. And that's a wonderful transit for your relationship, where you'll be finding a lot more harmony with your partner. Or if you're single, it's a wonderful time to look for someone new.
So sweet. So we have the beginning of a new season, which is Aquarius season. And that happens when the sun moves into Aquarius, as it's doing right here. And there it joins a whole bunch of other planets in the sign of Aquarius as well. And so there's a very big emphasis on this sign, and that falls in your 8th house, which is the house of intimacy. Now, this is a house in which, oddly, you may actually like to bring some objectivity and occasionally take some space from your partner in order to have a really good rhythm of intenseness and closeness, and then also space and distance. And the emphasis on Aquarius is going to bring a lot of attention to that arena. And it's going to go on for much of the year because Saturn and Jupiter continue in this area. Saturn will be bringing you lessons about who do you trust, how do you trust, and how do you engage in sharing with others. And then Jupiter is going to bring you good experiences of this and help you to expand and grow in your intimacy and intimate relationships. So when the sun moves into Aquarius here on January 19th and 20th, it just sort of kicks off that theme of the year. Earlier in the month, we have the first of the 2 moons, and that happens on January 12th. It's a new moon in Capricorn. And just a minute earlier, Julia said that Venus moving into your 7th house is going to make your relationships nicer. And while that's true, the influence of Pluto has been going on in a sort of a backgroundy kind of way for more than a decade in your 7th house of relationships. So you've been engaged in a long-term transformation and metamorphosis, a literal death and rebirth of your whole relationship domain, which might mean that you've gone through some significant and profound changes about what you even think that love and a relationship are. And now the thing about Pluto is that Pluto is in charge of death and rebirth. And this new moon is going to really bring those themes up. We're calling it Newborn Ambitions, Phoenix Rising. Newborn because it's a new moon, which brings that fresh feeling of newness. And ambitions because it's in Capricorn, and Capricorn likes to progress and move forward always. And then Phoenix Rising because of the Pluto thing here. Pluto brings a flattening or raising of the old and a rebirth and emergence of the new. And this new moon, I think, is going to bring some of that feeling of like, oh, I'm ready to start over. I'm ready to like just release and let go of those old resentments in my relationship and like begin again. So that is a lovely, lovely feeling. Then at the end of the month, on January 28th, we have the second of this month's moons. This is a full moon in Leo, which falls in your second house of food, body, and money, the things that connect us to the physical world. And full moon is always in opposition with the sun. And so it tends to have a relationship feel, and it will probably also bring up some of those themes of sharing that I spoke of a minute ago. But this particular full moon has a fiery character because it includes a grand trine with Juno and Chiron. And so we're calling it Be Recognized for Your Generosity. This moon falls in your second house, which means perhaps you've been generous with your money recently and somebody will appreciate you for that. Perhaps you've been cooking for people lately, or perhaps cooking for people and giving them food that you made would feel good. And that might result in generosity being appreciated. And that would feel pretty nice. Now, this winter is a really good time to start new projects. And I'm talking specifically about January and February. And the reason for this is that there are no outer planets retrograde right now. And if you can see, you look around the wheel and all of the outer planets are in this third of the wheel and none of them are retrograde right now, which is great. That means that projects can begin and proceed forward with few obstacles for their lifespan if they are incepted in these months of January and February. There is an exception to that, however, which is the Mercury retrograde period. It begins January 30th when Mercury turns retrograde. It finishes February 20th when Mercury goes direct. So with the exception of that 3-week period, January and February are a really good time for you to receive the first dollar for services or products in a new business, for you to break ground on a construction project, for you to sign a contract of any kind for something really big, like possibly purchasing a car, a home, or a property. And I recommend that you take advantage of this time. Well, that's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And if you did like this video, please be sure to like it by hitting that button and subscribe to our channel on YouTube and share it widely. And you will find more horoscopes like this one on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, also on our website, pandoraastrology.com, where you can find readings, join a class, and read our monthly forecast. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye.